Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're unpacking an absolutely incredible devotional that gives us the ultimate blueprint for handling hurt feelings. We're looking at a classic text called The Architecture of Christian Courtesy, specifically zooming in on a section about a system of truest politeness. We're going to break down this really powerful source material so you know exactly how to handle those super frustrating everyday conflicts at school, at home, or out on the playground. Okay, let's dive right into a situation I know we've all faced at some point. Just picture this. You're walking down the school hallway, or maybe you're out at recess. You spot a really good friend, you wave, and nothing. They literally walk right past you without even looking your way. Your stomach completely drops. Instantly, your brain goes into overdrive trying to figure out why that just happened. And that exact split second brilliantly illustrates the choice we all have. You basically have two paths here. Reaction A is jumping to the absolute worst conclusion, right? Deciding right then and there, oh, they are mad at me, they hate me, and they are ignoring me on purpose. But then there's reaction B. That's looking for a kinder, simpler explanation. Like, hey, maybe it was just super loud and they honestly didn't hear or see you. The devotional we are exploring today is entirely about why we so often fall into the trap of reaction A and why choosing reaction B is a total game changer. Section 1. When feelings get hurt. Dealing with real or imaginary injuries. The devotional lays down a hard truth right off the bat that we just have to acknowledge. It plainly states, we cannot pass along without sometimes having our feelings hurt and our temper tried. Look, it is completely normal to get upset sometimes. Whether it's your younger sibling accidentally breaking your absolute favorite toy or a classmate saying something a bit thoughtless, having your feelings hurt is just part of living around other people. You aren't doing something wrong just because you feel frustrated. Now, what's super interesting is how the devotional points out our weird, silly human tendency to hold on to the bad stuff. The author uses this fantastic imagery. It says we can receive thousands of good acts and kind deeds, but they pass from our mind like dew before the sun. They just evaporate. But let someone commit one single injury against us, even if it's completely imaginary, and it leaves this permanent, nearly impossible to erase mark. We forget 1,000 kind hellos, but man, we obsess over that one time someone walked past us in the hallway. Section 2, the Ephesians 4:32 rule, the ultimate guide to reacting. So, the crucial question is, how do we choose to respond when those hurt feelings inevitably strike? This brings us to the core message of the devotional, which is anchored in this famous verse from the book of Ephesians. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. The source text calls us to be just as patient, humble, and forgiving with other people as we desperately want them to be with us. Think about it. When you make a mistake, you want forgiveness, right? Well, this rule says we've got to hand that exact same forgiveness right back out to others. Section 3, the benefit of the doubt. Translating a 19th century secret. Let's see how this ancient wisdom actually works in our everyday lives. We're going to translate this 19th century secret into something you can use right now. The devotional uses this very old-fashioned, fancy phrase. We must learn to place the best possible construction upon doubtful conduct of others. Okay, doubtful conduct just means when someone does something confusing or kind of mean. And best possible construction means building the absolute best possible explanation in your mind for why they did it. It is a remarkably powerful piece of advice for protecting our friendships. In modern terms, especially for us when we're navigating the playground, this simply means giving others the benefit of the doubt. Instead of immediately suspecting evil, you just assume the person had a good or at least harmless reason for what they did. You choose reaction B. You assume your friend simply didn't hear you in the hallway rather than jumping to the conclusion that they hate you. And here is why this is so incredibly important. The devotional actually gives us a massive warning. It says, if we are ever suspecting evil, we are in danger of creating what we allow ourselves to suspect. That's huge. If you're constantly suspecting your friends are out to get you, you're going to start acting defensive and grumpy toward them. And guess what happens next? Your bad attitude will actually end up creating the exact argument you were worried about in the first place. It's literally a trap of our own making. Section 4, the real enemy of unity. Who really wants us to fight? But why is it so hard to get along? Why is it so easy to immediately suspect the worst? And who actually wants us to be fighting with our classmates and siblings? The text warns us very clearly about what it calls Satan's special work. And we need to remember, according to this devotional, the enemy isn't some cartoon monster with red skin and a pitchfork. The text frames him as a fallen, once beautiful angel, who is actively working behind the scenes to ruin our peace. So that conflict isn't just you versus your sibling. There is an active effort going on to destroy your harmony. The devotional actually lists out exactly what this special work involves. He causes dissension, which is really just a fancy word for arguing and fighting. He spreads distrust among friends. He encourages fault-finding, making you hyper-focus on every little thing your siblings or classmates do wrong. And why? Because the text says he knows that our arguing completely ruins the powerful, united testimony that Christians are supposed to show the world. When you're constantly fighting over a silly game at recess, you are falling right into this trap. Section 5. Your kindness, superpower. Showing the world true politeness. So, how do we defeat these sneaky tricks and show the world something infinitely better? Well, the devotional gives us this beautiful summary of everything we've talked about. The religion of Christ is a system of the truest politeness. The author explains that this isn't just about avoiding mistakes or pointing out what's wrong. It's designed to completely change us from the inside out. It's about discovering a truest politeness that makes our hearts genuinely, naturally kind. So what does that actually look like out on the playground? The source text says true politeness involves abasing pride, which basically means letting go of your ego and realizing you don't always have to prove you are right. It means being kind, protecting the reputation of others, and here's the hardest part. Just doing what's right yourself and then leaving your own reputation with God. You don't have to show all this anxiety trying to correct every wrong impression people have of you. You don't have to desperately fight every single rumor. You can just be dependably, constantly kind. To put this entire devotional into action today at school or when you get home with your family tonight, just follow these 3 superpower steps from the text the very next time a conflict happens. Step 1. Pause when your feelings get hurt. Remember, getting hurt is normal, but don't react right away. Step 2. Place the best possible construction on it. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Just assume they didn't mean it. And step 3. Choose kindness anyway. Live out that Ephesians 4:32 rule. I want to leave you with this final, really powerful question to think about as you head out into your day, walk the halls of your school, or sit at the dinner table. Who can you give the benefit of the doubt to today? Keep your eyes wide open for a chance to use your kindness superpower and just see how much peace it brings to your world. Thanks so much for exploring this with me.